Hello, Aaron. Wow, this is crazy.
I'd given up
Finally,
on
it's
you,
happened.
actually. I didn't think you was going to be calling.
No, I thought you were going to call, so I wasn't sure what to do.
Yeah, that's what I was reckoning on, and so I thought I'd make a video about this because I've had two other people
Oh,
who
really?
didn't show up for the video, and so that may be the reason.
Yeah.
And so I better make that clear from this point forward.
Uh-huh.
So how you doing, bro? You're looking
I'm
very
doing
bright.
very good.
You've
Yeah.
obviously got 1080 there.
Pardon? I've got
You got
what?
1080 pixels with the camera.
Sorry, it just cut out a bit.
Yeah, you've got
It just stopped.
1080
Yeah.
pixelation.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
bad. I mean, I'm using the Ethernet because I'm at the university right now, so I
Oh,
don't
right.
have a router, so it's pretty bad internet.
No, I
But
think
anyway,
it's good. I
I'm
mean,
so happy to do this because I've been neglecting it for such a long time, and it's just like it just got to a point where I needed to do it. I needed to get over the sort of fear of doing it, and I'm very happy now that I've done this.
well, brilliant. So, how long, you know the format. I ask you a few questions. How long have
Yeah.
you been viewing? What was the first video and what you like about the site and that
Um,
sort of thing?
the first video was well, I think I was watching your videos firstly because I was really into the psychedelic side of things. So I came across your video about taking the wrong train.
Right.
That's the first one that I came in contact with, and I was just that really hit me. And then I just went into your channel, and I just found these fuck ton of videos that were just absolutely mind blowing. I'm so interested in everything you talk about. You're really such an inspiration to me, and that's really why I kept to your channel because it's it really hits something. It's got an energetic thing. It,
Yes, I think that's the greatest facet of whatever I do. It's an energy there which
Absolutely, yeah,
it isn't something you come upon every day. And so, albeit that because I cover a lot of subjects, then
yeah,
not all subjects interest everybody, and there's always going to be the chance
yeah.
that I'm going
That's
to
yeah,
piss
of course.
people off.
Yeah, and you're
Because
good at that actually. I mean, I think if you
Gotcha.
didn't do people would see your videos keep it going in a way. I really see such a value in that sort of taunting method you go through in your videos, where you just really try to get to the point with people, and that's just something I really admire. That I should, seek out a little more in myself, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a curious thing actually because I just did a few more DMT trips today, and
No way, really.
yeah, and when I came out of the trips, I uh, had the notion that maybe I should stop with the taunting.
Nah.
Yeah, it's curious because some people get pissed off and some people go, and I work people to going because I'm
Yeah.
telling people all the time, go. If you feel like this,
Yeah, but I think what you're doing is like you're making people realize the silent observer in themselves. So had through your videos, that's when people become conscious in a sense, you know? Yeah, so
you,
yeah,
yeah, we've got a bit of an internet issue. I'm
really.
assuming, yeah, breaking up. I'm assuming it's your end because mine's fine.
I'm pretty sure it's mine. Yeah, I've got a bad Ethernet cable. It's a pain in the ass, but
Yeah, okay. Well, hopefully it won't spoil the video. So
yeah.
yes, I mean I do all this challenging, and I don't know, because most people they don't really communicate in a way which I can gain anything from. If
Mm,
I'm taunting people and then I get "fuck you, Aaron, you're an asshole." Well,
yeah,
what has that said? All that to me is that I've done exactly what I intended to do. I triggered you, but you're not smart enough to be able to know this. When I tell you all the
true,
time,
true.
I'm going to do it. I pave the way. I give you all the tools you need to be able to see and feel this happening, and yet still I get "fuck you." And
Yeah.
so
Well, I mean,
therefore,
that's the
then,
case, really. I'm trying to connect with the people in my uni and sort of give them something that's a little more. And they're all so distracted with social media, sort of their attitudes to life, that they're not accepting of their own thoughts, their own, you know, they're very judgmental. So have I been judgmental in the past, and that really blocked that out from people, you know.
Yeah, I mean, being judgmental is okay. It's just as long as you know where judgment is come from and whether
Absolutely, yeah,
it is found or based in sound reasoning. You
yeah,
know, and it's not just a knee-jerk thing because it's something that's upset you because it rubs against your program and you don't even know you're a program, and then on and on we go, round and round and round, and you just look at the world and you see the sickness, the sickness of the
yeah,
non-thinking human mind, and it's
absolutely.
very, very difficult to deal with. And so what I've done is over this past 5 years, I've displayed myself. I've displayed a certain logic, rational thinking, and I hope he gathered up.
Oh, it definitely
Uh,
worked with me, man. I'm telling you that. Like,
well,
there was a there was a video you did with Paul. You were having an anti-mascara. It was that video was all legal from the
yeah,
and I completely ignored the video side of that. It wasn't the actual thing that I was looking at and what you were saying that got to me. It was like a state of being that suddenly really came across from that video. Just tear up. Like, I completely felt what you were going through without even being on trip.
well,
Yeah,
that
amazing.
that
It
that that,
inspired
that
me to write poetry.
well, that's fantastic. And if I can touch people who are touchable, then I can draw them in closer to
Yeah,
this hub. And obviously, what I'm doing is with a new site, which should be up and running very, very soon.
yeah,
S-
I checked that out actually. It's looking good.
Yeah, but to bring the people that get it, the people that get me, the people that have a level of acceptance of how I operate, they're not going to be pissed off and they're not going to
No,
be,
no.
shooting their mouths off and all this sort of thing. And so basically, and this last 4 odd years, it has been some sort of an inauguration for all the people which are ready now to ascend and to go into another realm where we can take it further.
Yeah, I
So,
think it's going to really work out. I think you've definitely got something really good. And, just seeing how people are turning up to these Skype calls, it already shows a really big potential. So yeah,
yeah, and
definitely.
I've got no idea really. I mean, it's growing and it's escalating. It's snowball effect really because I've almost gained 2 million views within a third of the time it took me to gain 1 million. And so the
Wow.
projections I'm getting now 20,000 video, 20,000 hits averagely over a 48-hour period. So that's 10,000 a day. So all we've got to do is do simple math.
Wow.
365
Pretty
times
good.
10,000, we've got nearly 3.5 million a year.
Hell yeah.
That's the current rate, and obviously the longer my videos are out there, the more people are going to see, the more I put up, the more potential traffic, and so
Yeah.
it is going to snowball. I'm very confident
So,
that we are going to get a lot of interest, but things take time, and so humble beginnings so far. So,
mhm.
how long have you been a viewer now, Sam?
I think I started viewing you when you had maybe 6,000 subscribers. So quite early
Right.
on, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, how often do you look in
I'd
on?
say every day I go through at least one of your videos, whether it be one of the really old ones or it be one of the new ones. I'm into sort of, I'm really into the kind of philosophical ones, the nature ones. Those really get to me because I'm just constantly searching the web for sort of, you know, esoteric information and all that stuff, and that just drives me. Well, yeah, I'm so passionate about that stuff. Yeah.
And so, as a comparison, then, what sort of videos give you the same thing that the Awakened Brave does? Who do you watch that gives you the same level of satiation and inspiration?
Um, I'd say the videos where you're really getting to something that is really deep into the human psyche, something that really kind of shows the, I don't know, the essence of a human. That's what really gets me when you're talking about awareness, and when you're talking about realizing your unconscious through being a violent observer. Because I've gone through a complete like reawakening in a sense. You uploaded a video talking about symbolism
Yeah.
not long ago. 3 days prior to that, I had a dream where I was bitten by a snake, and that I looked up the meaning of that dream, and it said that it was a sign of the universe, basically telling you that there's change coming your way, there's like a awakening happening. But you're, I don't know how to describe it really. It left me so puzzled when I woke up from that, because it was just absolutely bizarre. It really
Yes.
hit.
The thing is about all this dream interpretation, I would take it all with a pinch of salt, because, like I said in that video I made, don't show it, and in these like astrological readings and these dream books, it's also from young Freud and
Yeah,
anybody
true.
else.
There's a lot of Freud in the snake imagery. So,
Yeah, but you see, depending on what continent you go on the planet, then you're going to find a different way of looking at the snake. If you look in the Bible, then again, there's a paradox there, because the snake is supposed to represent Satan, and Satan's supposed to represent evil. Yet in the New Testament, Jesus talks about becoming wise like the snake, becoming as wise as the serpent. And so therefore, wisdom, we can only assume, is a good thing. God didn't want Adam and Eve to have wisdom, and so I would say that he's Satan, and the snake was in actual fact Lucifer, the light bearer, bringing the torch of light to man. So the Bible is complete poison, really, because it's asked about face. It's designed entirely to deceive humankind, and so what we have to do is we have to delve very, very deeply. And
seek the deeper meaning, basically.
Yes, and take a whole broad perspective of the various meanings of all this stuff, because the Bible is only a rip-off from all of the mythologies that preceded it for thousands of years. It took a bit from here and a bit from there, and so So what the question was then? What other people give you a similar sort of insight and benefit, so to speak? Some people say, and I'm not, basking in my own self-aggrandizement here. People say, "Oh, you're the new Alan Watts," or you're up there with Osho, and all these sort of things.
Well, there's definitely something there. I do have that sort of level of inspiration from you, but it's very subjective, though. I mean, maybe it's a little too over the top, because at the end of the day, we're all humans, we're all just being sort of the universe becoming aware of itself, really. So we're all on the same page, but there's definitely something that you can get across, and you do that very well. Yeah. And,
yes, so that's good. If I can reach some people, those that are reachable, and so I'll keep endeavouring to do what I'm doing, and I feel I'm getting more and more deep, and I know when I've probably gone a little bit too deep for most, because nobody can comment.
I have the same thing with my girlfriend. Sometimes I just like chat so much about like absolutely esoteric sort of, I try to explain morphic resonance to her, and she was just completely deadpan, no idea what you're talking about, mate.
And so then I have to kind of like bring it back down a few notches, but I want to take it to the dizziest of heights, and I want to discover viewers out there who can engage with me in this sort of stuff.
That's the stuff I'm into. When you take it to those heights, that's when I really enjoy it, Aaron. That's when I really
yeah. Because what happens with the vast majority of the viewers, they come on Skype, and it's kind of like a bit like yourself. I needed to do this. I want to do this. I want to get over my own inhibitions and this, that, and the other. And that'll be it. They won't come back again. When the whole intention of these Skype introductory videos is to get a little bit of a familiarity with each other, and then come back again with a subject.
Oh, I'm definitely up to coming back in again. Yeah.
And
I want to get into this thing.
I don't want to sit here listening to my own voice. I want to have my viewers come to me and say, listen, I had this dream the other night. I'll run it by you. I'll give you my version of the interpretation that I've got to see what you think about it. And I'll sit here for a whole half an hour or hour, listening. And then I will come back with my appraisal of it or my analysis of it or something. The engaging thing, you see.
Yeah.
But there's very few people.
Well,
really.
Aaron.
Yeah.
Sorry, you'd be surprised. Like, I don't know if this is weird for me to mention, but just like 2 days before, I had a dream where I encountered you.
Really?
And it was just such a bizarre thing. It was, I mean, I hope it's not weird if I say this, but it was like we were really old friends, seeing each other for the first time in ages, and we kind of hugged in front of. We hugged in front of Portugal, the caves where you sometimes go to,
right?
And we were just sort of philosophizing there, talking there just for ages and marveling at life. And then out of the rocks comes this bizarre kind of skeleton that's kind of forming itself from the light in the sea, and it's like it's like half zombie, half consciousness. It was conscious, and it was there to see us, to perceive us. It was really bizarre. And then after that, it went into a whole kind of post-apocalyptical, really bizarre scenario. But it was just really amazing. It was the first encounter I've ever had with you in my dreams. And I'd seen a video of yours where you talked about you wanting your viewers to comment on if they ever had a dream of you in a dream. So I decided I'd mention it.
Absolutely brilliant. And I just wonder how many, in actual fact, my viewers have seen me in their dream. I was thinking about this only the other night. Even if we don't remember our dreams, we train ourselves. And so if anybody says, "Oh, I've not dreamt of you. You said that you was going to come to me and you're not," I'm pretty sure that I have been there. If anybody watches on a reasonably regular basis my videos, there's no way what I'm saying will not penetrate deeply into everybody's unconscious and their deep inner psyche. I will be there. And
no, that's what happened.
Yeah. And so it's very curious because lots of people, I wish I could have some sort of log of all the people that have had these curious dreams.
Yeah.
And
that should be a part of your, be on your website at some part of it.
And I'll have a separate part for just like I've got Skype, well, a separate part for the Skype thing, or the encounters, and all this sort of thing. So yeah, there's lots of fascinating facets, and I'm really enjoying it. But I'm just waiting for this site to make manifest. We're still working now. You see, guy who's doing it, he's got his family and he's got his job and any number of things, and so she would want it to be a priority. It very often isn't, but we're almost in there.
I think it's all sort of getting out of your comfort zone, and I've been listening to this stupid voice in my head for quite a while, especially during the last term in uni. I haven't really been going with my inner voice, the true instinct in myself, the all-knowing instinct, not the ego, the real voice that just comes out of being. It doesn't come out and sort of be, and that's what I've neglected. And I think there's there's a lot of change coming my way, whether it be bad or good. I'm willing to accept it, and I think that's what people are supposed to do when approaching you and your videos, and
Yeah,
sticking to it, not giving up, really.
yeah. I mean, I made one video like yesterday, and I was saying basically how few of us even are aware that we have an awareness.
Oh yeah,
That when
so
you completely calm the mind, which the vast majority of the population can't do, so they'll never experience that, but when you do get spiritual, when you do acquire a depth of this esoteric knowledge, and when you get in touch with the inner self, you discover that there's an awareness there, and that awareness is the thing that's all pervasive. It will never ever go
yeah,
away. And when you get in touch with that,
manifested form of all, really.
yeah, but people, they just think it's the ego, and so they're running on programs their entire lives without
Yeah,
ever knowing or
tell me
realizing
about it.
that
It's
that is
crazy.
not what they are.
It's there's such a dense energy field in this bloody university. It's just mind-boggling. People are just so sort of distracted and really seeking out for a really real feeling of aliveness. They're constantly going out for parties all night, drinking, which makes them feel alive somehow. I have no clue how that happens, but yeah, people need to find this all-pervasive knowing in themselves that is the actual source of all their thoughts, all their preconceptions, in a way.
Yeah, and they they've got no idea what it is that they're looking for, and society has told them that it's in a Cinzano or a whiskey on the rocks or whatever, and so they go down that path, and then they think maybe it's through, you know, many sexual activities,
Yeah,
or it's through some party drugs or something like this. But, you know,
yeah,
simply it's just down to being calm and contemplative, and then all this other stuff will seem like a very second best.
yeah,
Going
yeah,
out
yeah,
getting
yeah.
pissed seems pointless. Running around, getting, you know, having many sexual encounters just
It's
seems
not
pointless.
fulfilling. It's just a
No,
distraction. That's all it
yeah,
is.
and so it's like I live now. I live, you know, a life on my own. I haven't had a partner in 5 years. I don't know whether I ever will. I just don't feel inclined. I don't need it. It really isn't anything that
Mm.
I require
It's not
in my
essential.
life.
It's not essential
Yeah,
whatsoever. Yeah.
because that's something that you found, and so it's curious from my perspective, talking to you. You know, what are you, 17, 18?
I'm 19.
19,
19.
19 now, and yet you are looking at the bigger picture,
Oh
finding
yeah,
yourself an oddball,
yeah, a
not
little.
being able to communicate with your peers. How does that feel?
It's frustrating, absolutely. It's definitely really hard to get across this real dimension to people. All my life, kind of been a really imaginative person. I've always delved into my imagination, sort of not escaping from reality, but making more of it. I've always tried to seek the real kind of depth to it, and that seems like something is so lost nowadays. It's just unbearable to most people. To me, it's okay. I know how to cope with it. I have the instruments, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
but what is unbearable is when you have to live in the midst of all these automata that
yeah,
just don't get it. They don't get
yeah,
anything, and you look at them, and it's as clear as day that they're all dashing and running around on programs which they're
yeah,
completely unaware of. And if you try
absolutely.
to enlighten them to this, then, you know, metaphor,
Yeah,
and so you just sit back and you go, am I in a madhouse?
yeah,
And this is the thing, the thinking person. It is easy to start thinking that we're the crazy ones, because
oh yeah.
99% of
But
them,
there's such an instinctive no, you're the same at the same time, which is so paradoxical. It's so frustrating to sort of have that imbalance of really feeling that you're connected to real truth, whereas the whole world thinks that that's madness. It's just completely conflictive. It's, I mean, yin yang in a sense. That's what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, and so I was listening to a London Real interview with David
Yeah,
Icke,
I've seen a few of
and
those.
he's talking about all this stuff, and he's been doing this for 30 years now, and it's all he's ever encountered, really. But increasingly, there are more and more people starting to apply themselves to a different way of thinking. It's
Yeah,
all really, really in the minority,
yeah,
and
we're still on the come up, but I think it's gonna. There's a singularity along the way that we're gonna approach, and I'm certain of it. Dreadful, either something dreadful or something completely spontaneous that is out of our control, like some kind of cataclysm. There's a lot of evidence of that, but that's something else. Anyway, but
yes,
yeah,
something will move us. We will think, the thinkers, we all think that this is coming. We all feel it coming. And whether it's going to come in our time, who knows? Maybe it's coming every day. It's just a very, very
yeah, in
slow
different forms it is. Yeah, yeah,
manifestation that we're not really realizing the magnitude of it. But if you look from the beginning of YouTube, which was about
yeah,
10 years old, the amount of change that's brought about is
oh yeah,
phenomenal. And so
absolutely.
we have to say then, well, in this last 10 years, look how more informed people have become. Not necessarily in a good way, because there's so much information out there, and most people, they choose the shit. But the opportunity is there. And so I can't help
Yeah.
thinking that at the outside, at the very outside, if we still have some level of freedom for the next 20 years with this
Hmm.
portal, then I can't help thinking that at least 50% of people will have some sort of idea that we're not this ego, we're not this body, we
Yeah,
do
hopefully.
actually have a spirit, and there's so
Yeah,
much more to this world.
but
Because
even this. Sorry, yeah.
I was
Go.
going to say, because on sort of uh, portals like Twitter and Facebook,
Yeah,
lots of people are posting stuff which is quite esoteric for Facebook,
yeah.
and it's getting bounded around, and people
Sort
are
of the
looking
palm
at it.
reading kind of things and zodiac stuff. Is that what
Well,
you're
I was
talking
meaning
about?
like on
That,
spiritualism, on meditation, and
oh yeah, yeah.
near-death experiences, and particularly
Oh, that's
psychedelics.
true. Yeah, yeah. There were some girls in my uni that were doing a documentary on near death experiences, which was just unbelievable. I'd never even heard anyone else my age talk about anything remotely related to that, and it was just mind blowing.
You ever heard of anybody talking about astral projection in your ears?
The first day I got to uni, I had some drinks or to celebrate Fresh Week. I mean, it's almost obligatory that you have a drink. I don't drink, but that night, this girl, what she doesn't astral project, but she has lucid dreams every single night, and in every single one of them, it's all
Mm.
post-apocalyptic, and I was thinking, she told me, yeah, you must think that to dream every night, but it's dreadful. I don't have any control of it over it. It's very limited. But I think she's just got the wrong perception of it. I think there's a point in a lucid dream where you can accept what is happening. When you're not rejecting the spontaneity of it, that's when you can really control. That's when it becomes something else. So it's not something toxic, I don't think.
Well, no, I mean, lucid dreaming is a wonderful thing, and the whole thing about um, the lucidity of it is that you have an awareness that you're dreaming, and in which case, then you go, well, if I have my conscious awareness now in a dream, then I
Yeah,
should be able to direct it and do whatever I want.
yeah,
And people do. They change their whole environment in the flick of a finger. They and experience certain things, just like flying or becoming something else, or going into a different
Oh, the
culture,
flying is
going
just
to a
amazing.
different time period, and all these sort of
Yeah,
things. And so I really wish that I could do that at the drop of a hat, but it takes a lot of,
it's a lot of effort. Yeah,
yeah, a
a
lot
lot
of
of
effort.
dedication, a lot of dream recall and writing them down. I mean, that's the way you wire your brain to sort of really see these experiences coming. I've had quite a lot of astral projections recently as well. Last night I just had a brief one, uh,
Right.
and it's absolutely amazing. It's one of the coolest parts of being alive, I think, having an astral projection. The first astral projection you have is just such an unforgettable experience.
Incredible. And so, what sort of themes do you have when you go into the astral?
Hmm. Uh, I mean, it's really emotional. I always feel like I'm experiencing a real, really true love. Like, it's also really poetic. I get a lot of animal imagery and birds in my dream for some peculiar reason. And in my last astral projection, I I I called out Thoth. I called out for the name of Thoth, which I actually come into contact from your video where you talked about Thoth. The
Right.
tablets of Thoth, I absolutely adore them.
Yeah.
Um, I called out the name in an astral projection, and this bird appeared, looking just like the ancient Egyptian images, with a hooked beak, really massive kind of green, purple, so vibrant as well. It was, and it was communicating to me through its its flying and its action. It's just absolutely remarkable, unbelievable.
Yeah. And
But
so,
I'm not sure how to describe the themes. Uh, uh,
yeah, well,
it's hard.
my themes invariably have been sexually oriented.
Sexual, yeah.
Yeah. And
What do you make of that? What do you think that is? The sexualness of it. Do you think it's kind of repressed energy, or do you think it's just like a conscious willingness to do it?
well, first and foremost, it's a natural humanistic thing.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's particularly a guy thing.
Mm,
If you just reflect upon the amount of dreams you have where you have some sort of sexual connotation,
yeah.
then the chances are every single night, only we don't remember them.
Yeah.
And so,
When you wake up with a fucking boner at least every night, that's true. It's just accepted.
yeah, so something's going on, isn't it? And
Mm,
it's not something that I set my intention on, because I would much rather do something completely abstract, like back to the Jurassic period, and see the world
yeah.
then.
Oof.
I would really, really love to do that, but I've never managed to do it. And you see, I trained myself very, very disciplined for a long time,
Mm,
every single day and night, and I had these projections in my mind that I wanted to fly through the universe. I wanted to encounter
yeah.
aliens. I wanted to encounter other planets, and yet, what would I get when I left my body? I'd get a couple of bimbos standing there, talking to each other. Here, pick him up. Here, put him down here. Do this, do that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
whatever.
Jesus. It's almost like to you, an astral projection is less is it's more scripted than free willed in a way. Is perhaps I'm just sort of interpreting. I have no idea what you're going through, but I don't know. It's
Yeah, I
weird.
mean, I always go into them with a completely open mind, and there's nothing I'll reject, and there's nothing that really, what can I say? Other than I'm quite broad and varied, you see.
Yeah,
I'll go, take me to the lengths and breadths of the universe, or take me back in time, or, anything. Take me to a war period. Just let me see something else. That's really what I wanted, but never got that. Whenever I leave the
mm,
body into this astral, it's always in this realm. It
yeah.
seems to be in this time
To me
period.
too, actually. I've never gone outside of the physical universe. Well, no, obviously it's not physical, but it's like another Earth. It's like a second version of Earth. It's not particularly uh, set in stone. It's very malleable,
Yeah.
but it's still kind of, yeah, I've never gone outside into the cosmic realm, or the astral plane as people call it. At least I don't think so. That seems like something so sort of hard to achieve, and massive amounts of dedication will get you to there, I think.
Yeah, I've watched many people speaking about their astral projections, and they say that as soon as they left the body, woo, they were sucked straight out the roof and through space, and in a different cosmos, and I don't know, galaxy, whatever, encountering God and beings and all this. But I don't know, we're all very very different, and
Yeah.
but what you see. I feel within myself that I have come from somewhere, or I have a deep knowledge of another realm. And this is
Mm.
why I'm so intent on doing these psychedelics and doing the astral projection and this
Do you
sort of
sort
thing.
of feel like you're an old soul in a way? Because that's something quite prominent that people feel.
I don't feel anything like a million years old or anything like
Mm.
that. I just
No, no,
feel
I know
that
what you mean.
I've got a deep knowing within me,
Me
and
too.
when I take mushrooms and when I take DMT, it is so familiar. And you see, all this stuff is going on within consciousness, and we are consciousness, so of course it is familiar.
Yeah.
It's no different to me than anybody
Even an
else, because
atom is
we
conscious, so you're not away from it.
sorry.
Sorry, it cut out, so I couldn't
Oh,
really
right.
hear what you're saying, but I might have interrupted you as well. Go ahead,
Yeah.
anyway.
So I was looking for this whereby I can be in another world,
Mm.
and I've found it now with DMT. And I had this trip today where I went and sat in a little spinny in the sun with the butterflies and the bees flying around. And I took this DMT, and the whole spinny just turned into like a Warner Brothers animation.
My
Just
God.
like all the trees you'll see in one of these cartoons, they were just like that.
Was it like kind of Aztec? I've heard that people have like very Aztec kind
No, not at all. It
of.
was just like somebody had
Listen to.
painted these trees with watercolors, exactly as they were with watercolors. Only every one of them had a face in it. It had a being in it,
Yes.
and it was just looking. They weren't making animated faces. They just had a face, and
Yeah.
the face never depicted any emotion. It's just that we're living. We are entities. And no talking or communicating like that. I just look at them all, and I see creatures and faces in every single one of them. They're all kind of like conjoined, holding hands or bonded in some way. It's the most amazing
You
thing.
mentioned in your video that it was something kind of holographic, right? That it's a sort of image that is being sort of laid over the physical
Yeah,
planet, right? You mentioned that it felt like that.
yeah, but this one was different. There was no overlay. The trees, every single one
Really
of them, just became cartoon. And
amazing.
the buttercups and all that sort of thing, they were just like they've been painted by the most amazing artist in these most beautiful, vibrant watercolors. Incredible,
I
absolutely
mean, what you
incredible.
experience much must just be infinity. There are just infinite possibilities for what you could see with this substance. I mean, it's almost as if infinity is manifesting itself in some form in front of you. any possibility can happen just by the fact that you had a different experience this time. You didn't see holographically, you saw more a manifestation appearing for itself.
Yeah, everything just changed. Everything, all the trees were exactly as they were in this reality. All the branches and the positions and everything, only you just go into a space where everything is cartoon. And it's absolutely incredible. Now, in comparison to the one where I was on the beach, the rocks are moving, the sand's moving, all the stones are moving, and
Yeah.
God's up in the clouds. Oh, hi, God,
Yeah, that was crazy.
and all the buildings, they turned cartoon. And so that was kind of like very, very similar, but somewhat different. This particular trip, everything was, but you see, I was only in a particular environment. I was in a small wooded meadow. There was no buildings around. There's nothing else that I could concentrate on or see. The sky was obscured by all the trees and everything. So all I saw was the buttercups, the grass, and the trees. And so they just became this marvelous Warner Brothers
Unbelievable.
depiction. So I've got to go back there again tomorrow to see
Yeah.
this again and to see if I can
God.
see exactly the same thing
I don't know
again.
I don't know if I'm too young to do DMT yet, but I just have such an extreme desire to just try it out, for fuck's sake. I'm really, really desperate to see what it's all about. And something that I found really weird about your DMT live video experience, where you're with Guy in the beach, was that you started to say no profanity, don't swear. Did you
Yeah,
realize you said that? What's that about?
because it's so beautiful.
Really?
It's so incredibly beautiful.
Was it almost in the art of so you shouldn't swear or something?
Sorry, you broke up.
Was it almost as if you were in the eyes of God and you couldn't swear in front of him or something like that?
No, I never felt no
Okay.
overbearing pressure or protocol. I just didn't want to. I just felt crass and cheap. Because
Mm-hmm.
what you see when you are in these trips
It's
is
divine. Yeah.
astonishing, amazing, divine, whatever you want to call it. And to go, fucking, it was this and fucking, that's the
True,
most
true. It
basic
undermines it, yeah.
and crass language that, we could display. I mean, what we're doing when we're cussing, all we're doing is we're replacing a opportunity to use this beautiful language that we've got in a very expressive way, but instead we go, it was fucking this. Well, there's a million other words we could use,
Yeah,
to
yeah,
to
yeah,
to
yeah.
to paint the
It keeps
picture.
cutting out, so sometimes I need to sort of retrace your words a little, and it's a little grey in my head, but hopefully I
Yeah,
can do something about it next time we
yeah,
call you.
because I'm not sure whether we're going to be able to use this video. Because just don't like
Yeah, they
that.
don't tune in if it's got bad quality. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
know what you mean.
really annoying, and so
I might have to go to the library in my uni. They have the internet there, so maybe next time we can do it there.
yeah, and so definitely because conversations like, I mean, this conversation was a nice conversation, and
Yeah,
it's got value, and if we can't use it, then it's kind of like, ah. But I've been experiencing lots of issues with the internet, and I've been losing lots of videos with people,
yeah.
and I've no idea what that's about. But, so yeah, is there another subject you want to engage with?
Yeah, I wrote
Have
some
you?
things down
Yeah,
actually. Uh, I was gonna maybe talk about like my awakening experience, what sort of happened.
yeah, do it, mate.
If you want to hear that, of
Yeah,
course,
for
this is.
sure.
Well, I was going through. It was the first time I'd actually started smoking weed with my girlfriend, and it was throughout like a lot of those times where we got high. I felt this kind of energy surging in me, and I only found, well, I felt this energy surging in me every time I smoked, and it was very subtle at first. I kind of rejected it because I didn't know what it was. I thought I was sort of having some bowel movements or something like that. And then one day I had a particular moving experience where I looked into my girlfriend's eyes, and she just sort of, it became extra 3D in a sense. It was like hyper 3D, almost like as if she was coming through me. I could feel some kind of contact. And then immediately afterwards, I felt the cosmic snake, the kundalini surging right from my root, my root chakra to the crown chakra, which sort of, it was scary at first because it was just this complete motionless, what the hell is going on, you know? Everything started to get dim, everything went kind of red and blurry, and then I was sort of in this dark space, almost as if it was dark, but at the same time it was bright. It was like a bright darkness in a peculiar
A shiny
way.
black.
Exactly. Sorry, what?
So a shiny black.
Do you say something?
A shiny
Yeah,
black.
yeah.
I've
That's what it
heard
was.
that. I've heard that said on lots of occasions.
Really? Where have you heard that from?
Oh, David Icke.
David Icke. I haven't heard David Icke, actually.
You haven't heard David Icke?
No.
You don't know of him?
No. I know of him. I've heard you talk about him, but I've never looked into his videos. I'm definitely going to do so.
Yeah, I mean, he's the pioneer, really, for all this stuff, the Illuminati and the shapeshifters and the Agenda 21 and what our masters have got in plan for this world. Oh, goodness me. Yeah, I mean, he's been about for 30 years, and he's been speaking about this stuff for all that time and wrote a shitload of books. And so definitely start listening to what he's got to say, and probably go back as far as you can to the first videos, the older videos, because obviously.
Does he have a YouTube channel, or is it?
He's got. He
YouTube.
uploads it every week. He's all over the world,
Cool.
doing venues, literally all over the world, all the time. And so yeah, just look at his YouTube channel. He does a post every week, and there's just hundreds and hundreds of videos of his out there. And
so he's more philosophical than sort of. Eckhart Tolle, like.
He's not a philosopher. He basically extracts history and delves into the mythology of the ancient world. And when you delve into the ancient mythology, then if you become versed in it, then you start to see patterns which have been global and have been around for thousands of years. And then you look at the Bible, and when you've studied the Bible and you've studied ancient texts and everything, it's kind of like the Bible's just a rip-off of civilizations that have been here before, 5,000 years or more before. Probably 20,000 years, something like this. And so you'll see that the whole world's a lie. And so David Icke will open your eyes to that. Awesome. And some people go, oh, he's going on about shapeshifters, and he said the royal family's lizards, and he's mad. Look, when you get into this stuff, when you learn a lot about it, there's a certain facet of it which becomes undeniable. The world is so crazy, anything becomes possible in the end. Yeah. When you piece it all together, people probably be very, very surprised one day when it turns out that this world is being governed by entities from another dimension. That isn't so crazy.
No, it's not crazy at all. I mean, there are infinite possibilities. We know it as for a fact that the universe is infinite. Then whether it is complete truth, we have no clue, but there's definitely some kind of intelligence that is on the sidelines of our existence. Like the entities that people experience in their dreams, they seem to have a life of their own. They seem to sort of live there, and that you see in the DMT realm as
Yes,
well.
it seems it's
Only
there all the time,
from
and these women that come to me in the astral plane, they seem just as real as anybody else walking around.
yeah, in
And
fact, even more
yes,
real, you could
yes,
say.
on lots of occasions. And so what is absolutely ridiculous is to consider that there is nothing else except human life in this cosmos,
Yeah,
and we're too far away for them to reach us,
no,
and
that's
you
just a
know,
sign of
but by
insanity.
conventional means, we don't know anything about this world,
Nothing.
and so therefore, then I think it's a very good, sound basis for keeping open to knowledge is just
Yeah,
to consider that we don't know anything
we don't
and
know
anything's
anything.
possible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's paradoxically that when you accept that you don't know anything, that's when the all-knowing state of consciousness comes in, where you don't label, but you have a deep knowing of anything that comes into your surrounding, anything that you hear. You sort of feel connected to the real source of where that information is coming from. That's how
Yeah.
I feel, anyway.
Yeah, and that's the thing, this whole paradoxical thing about it, because when you fully accept that this universe is a paradox,
Mm.
and there isn't any truth per se, because after all, what is truth as far as we're concerned? I mean, it's a human construct.
Yeah, a
How
word.
long have humans been of a reasonable thinking facility and ability on this planet? A smidgen of a time, and yet we think we know the nature of the universe. We think just because we've got this concept of true, then everything has to be true or false.
Mm.
It's all preposterous.
Absolutely, yeah.
Why can't there be a billion other things outside of truth and falseness? You know, some things
Sorry,
that we
what?
just
What did you say just then?
outside of truth and falseness,
Yeah,
because
nothing is
they're
black or
just,
white.
yeah, we expect everything that is to be like that, and we've got no idea, and so
Yeah,
I've given up now. I maintain that there absolutely isn't any truth. Why
there's
should there
no
be
truth,
truth?
no.
Even if you think there's a subjective truth, even if you think that you've got a pain in your stomach, well, you've got no stomach for a start,
Yeah,
and you've got no body, and you know, you're
no,
not at university.
the foundation of your body is the energy that pervades it, the energy that makes it actually perceivable. There's no real body there. There's no real mind. There's only what would you call it?
Maya, illusion.
Illusion. Absolutely, what it is. It's like a confused state of of wanting to rationalize something that you can't comprehend. I don't think that. I mean, we definitely do have a stomach. You can see the stomach when you open up a body, but when you're living your day-to-day life, that that I don't know. I'm sort of lost my train of thought in a way, but yeah,
Yeah, well, I mean, when people have near-death experiences or astral projections or psychedelics,
yeah,
then they are aware because this awareness, it seems, will never go away.
mm,
It is something that actually is, and we seem to partake in it
yeah.
as the human form. But
Fucking hell.
when you go into other dimensions, then you don't need the body.
You don't need the body. Yeah,
You
you
can
don't need the
see. You've
mind.
not got eyes. You can speak telepathically to other creatures, entities, and all this sort of thing. So therefore, then I'm quite satisfied that because we can do it everywhere else, then you know that's what we're doing here. Really, we only have the illusion of a body because it
Yeah,
pertains to this illusory paradigm of seemingly
this is just as
material
much of a
things.
dream as our actual real dream. Well, dreams are. You know that I think day-to-day life isn't the real. It isn't any more real than your dreams or your projections. In fact, it's only one small facet of the entire realm of possibility that our universe encompasses. There's
Yeah,
just infinite possibilities.
and the infinite possibilities of what can experience via consciousness, because these days, scientists, they're finding more and more ways to trick our perception, to allow us to perceive other things, and so we're coming to the point now with all this technology that we've got, whereby time and time again, what the information is telling us that you don't exist.
Yeah.
You're an illusion. You just think you're
Yeah.
existing. But this test says that your consciousness is over there when you think it's in here.
Yeah. My God.
You know, all this sort of stuff. And then you think that you're actually leaving the body. Then you think that your body's died and you're still alive, and all this stuff going on. It's crazy. It's marvelous, and it's such a blast. But to have firm opinions about any of it, I think that's not a good footing to.
It's such a crazy thought to think that, like, even I think arguably you could. Has it cut out?
Yeah,
Because it keeps on cutting out for me.
Yeah.
Atoms are actually consciousness. They're sort of they're like pixels in a weird way. They're like pixels in a simulation that our awareness, our light inside the body, that I think there truly is some kind of light that which is projecting outwards, is being picked. You're basically picking up these pixels and making them a real physical thing. At the base of it all, nothing is real. Nothing has a definite structure. Everything is formless in its essence.
Yes, that's right.
Unmanifest form.
Yeah, and so when we look at the pixelization of what we're looking at now, we are engaging with this perfectly normally, as if we would if we were sitting across a table.
Yeah.
And so when we have the ability to be able to do that, when we accept this illusion very, very readily, then it just seems to me that it's one step further to accepting that we as a body are illusory, because there has to come a day that they've already said it, that they're going to have very, very lifelike holograms of human beings.
I mean, they already are, right?
Yeah.
My God.
And so when you see all this stuff on TEDx and all that sort of thing, then there's just a stone throw away to us throwing away our reality. Just throw it away, and you see, they want to immerse us or merge us with the AI, because that's what we are. Because this
we're creating
isn't real.
A new consciousness.
This is already an AI construct.
You
know, as far
I've had
as
that feeling so many times, where you feel as though outside of your spectrum of awareness that sort of pervades everything. And the reason why we're making AI is because that's what consciousness wants to do in the first place. It wants to experience itself. So AI seems to be a way for consciousness to reset itself in a way, sort of to, I don't know, maybe give humanity a new chance, or some kind of new form of humanity in any case.
Yeah, just another facet, really. I mean, the human being, however long we've been around for, if evolution is anything that we should take seriously, then why do we consider that we're not going to evolve and morph into something else?
Yeah.
Now, if you look then at the possibility of us all being chipped, what they can do is they can implant.
Sorry, what? When you look at the what?
When we're getting chipped, they want to put a chip in our mind. They can erase our memories, and they can implant other memories. They can be selective about the memories they delete, and they can be selective about the ones they put in. Look, I mean, I don't need to know anymore, Sam, because at the end of the day, if they can just do little bits and bobs like that, then what's to say that really in 50 years' time that they can completely rewrite the whole human being?
That's what they want. They want control. They want the ultimate kind of say in what humanity is on its course to do, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just macabre in a way. I think it's such a dull picture for our future.
Yeah, but I don't have too much of an issue with it because
I don't think
the human being.
maybe Facebook or Twitter.
Yeah, I mean this recording is bad, and
Yeah,
so
it's terrible.
we'll probably
Yeah,
wind it up. But I was just watching the program last night, and it was
yeah.
about a group of skeletons that was found. There's about 70 skeletons,
Mm.
and they all had their heads smashed in, you know, by clubs. This
Oh,
variety.
really? Yeah,
Yeah, so
prehistoric.
even 7,000 years ago, man was absolutely barbaric. We just cannot learn. And
Yeah,
so I think we're a mutation. I think we're a bad idea from the very, very beginning. And if we can morph into something, whatever it is, if we don't have any control or autonomy, you know, against, we just don't want to kill and dominate everything on the planet. I'll swap that tomorrow. You know, because it's the killing and it's the dominating of everything on the planet that has ruined the planet. It's killed off 90% of the species already, and it will be the demise of the human race. So something has to
yeah,
change.
absolutely. Yeah, but it's time we realize our unconsciousness and sort of have a rebirth. Fuck's sake.
Yeah, that's right. A rebirth. So this has been a very interesting conversation, Sam. And so thank you very much for coming forward. And you know, your friends, nice to hear from you. You know, on an ongoing basis. What I say to my viewers is, let things roll around in say like 3 weeks' time. Then you know, see if I'm available again.
Yeah.
And you know, pick a subject.
Yeah, I'll go to the library because this is just I was just having to retrack it so many times.
Yeah, right. And then back to subjects, and then we could include somebody else to the conversation. You know, you choose yourself. If you'd want to speak with somebody else, any of the other members, then I'll just run it by them. You know,
Yeah,
that's
that'd be cool. Yeah.
yeah. So brilliant. Then, as I've said, we're not going to be able to use this video, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
But next time, hopefully, we'll get
I'll find a better place and we'll talk.
Yeah, fantastic. Nice one, Sam.
Really enjoyed it.
Thank you. Me too.
See ya.
Bye for now. Ciao.